Hello friends, welcome to Technopoints. In this video, we are going to learn about Jetpack Navigation Component. So since the launch of Android Jetpack, various libraries has been introduced by Android in order to make developers' life easy, and they do helpful in implementing various complex tasks in a very easy way, like a room library, a work manager library. This navigation library also makes a lot of work easier for the developers. Since we are now going towards single activity and multiple fragments approach, there are various cases where in every application we need to switch between one fragment to another quite often times. And there are some special cases like there is one flow and it which contain 5 to 6 fragments, where we start from one flow and end at another flow. And when we end at another flow, we again want to navigate to the first flow with skipping all the other bit in between fragments. So navigation library helps us in this achieving this task very conveniently and easily with the help of navigation graph. So in this tutorial, we'll be learning what is navigation graph, how to implement that, and if we how to pass data between two fragments with the help of this navigation framework. So in this tutorial, we'll be covering all those topics. So make sure that you stay till the end so that you will grasp the full concept and will be ready to implement that in your own project. So let's get started. So here I am in my project of the navigation library. First thing we need to do, that is adding a dependency. So I'll go to my build.gradle file, and here you need to add this dependency of navigation navigation framework. So make sure that you add this dependency, and I'll put this dependency in the description, so you can just copy paste from there. So that's it. We just need to add one dependency and we are good to go with the project. So here I have created a few files, few fragments. There are just empty fragments with some simple text and buttons in it. So this is the activity main. So let me show you that there is no code in the activity main, and we will be not writing even any single code in the main activity file. Here is respective activity main.xml file, and here I have created three fragments here. One is a login fragment, another one is a registration fragment, and third one is a dashboard fragment. Let me show you the respective XML files for this. Login fragment is just the thing I have created a text view here. Login fragment. Here is just a button to login, and here is one text view for the sign up. Here I am doing this just to simulate how, if we want to implement this navigation approach in our application which contains login and registration system. So it will be better to demonstrate with the help of this example. That's why I have created these fragments. So this one is a login fragment, another one is a registration fragment. So in this I have just created a one text view here in the registration fragment, one button here, clicking on register, and here is a login here button. So on clicking on this register button, we should be navigated to the login. That's what generally applications do. After registration, it shows that register successfully and then switches to login to use the same credentials and log into the application. Else, if we are already signed up in the system, so here is one button that exists in almost all of applications to log in here. If we already have an account, so we can just enter our credentials and log in the system. So after clicking on login here, we should be navigated to the login fragment here. Okay, and same for the login fragment also. After clicking on the sign up, if we don't have an account, we can just sign up. Also on clicking on the sign up, we will be navigated to the registration fragment. If we do have account already, then we'll click on login, and some dashboard screen generally opens. So this is a third fragment I have created, dashboard fragment. Let me show you the UI for that. So here is one text view I just created for dashboard fragment. So that will just simulate that we have entered some in the application. And here is one logout button. From where we can log out and come back to the login screen. So this is all just I have done for the simulation purpose. There is nothing working in this any of the fragment. These are just a text view, these are just a button, and there is no code in each of the fragments. Here you can see here registration fragment doesn't have any code, dashboard fragment doesn't have, and neither login fragment. all of these fragments are just empty. So here I am again at the activity underscore main.xml. In this activity main layout file, we'll just put a one container, that is NavHostFragment. It will be a single component that will be entering, and it will be just like a container where one fragment will reside at a one time. So if we are launching the login fragment, so login fragment will come in that, and if we navigate it to registration fragment, then registration fragment will come there, and if we have logged in, then the dashboard fragment will reside inside it. So it is just the host fragment, and which will host all the fragments one by one. So you can have all of the hundreds of fragments, and they will reside one by one in this host fragment. So before moving to that, let me show you how we can create the navigation graph with the help of navigation Jetpack Navigation library. So for that, you just need to right click on this race folder and new. I hope you have added the dependency before doing that. So we can just click on Android resource directory, and here we need to select a navigation from here, and we just click on OK. So you will see navigation has been created here. I'll again right click on this new navigation resource file option I am seeing here. So I'll just click on this one, and here I need to enter some name. So I'll just put a navigator and press OK. So here that file is ready, and in this file you don't need to code anything. You can do just everything by just the UI. So here it is saying that click plus to add a destination. Here it is the icon of plus, and here it is asking for some destination. So here how that graph is created, we need to add a fragment. So we have created a 3 fragments. We will add all these 3 fragments one by one and set a start and end point for that. Generally a start point, end point is will not be setting. We'll just setting a home fragment, that is a start destination. So let me click on this, and we'll get in a suggestion all of the fragments which we have created, including the activity also. So for this I'll first add the fragment login I have created there. So as this is only one fragment I have created, it already assigned this home icon to this. So now if I hover on this home, it is saying that assign start destination. So by default it has assigned this as a start destination. So when the application will be launched, it will be directly navigated to the login fragment. And another I'll add fragment registration. So registration fragment is the another one which we need. So I'll just place it here below this login fragment, and from this one I'll again add fragment dashboard. So this is the dashboard fragment. It is just like, so all of the screens will come here in this type of view. So if I want to navigate it from login to the dashboard, what I need to do, I just need to click on this, click and hold on this, and I need to drag and drop on this, so the arrow will be created. So this arrow is just a navigation. So if you click on this arrow, you will be able to see the id is automatically generated for this, and this is the id we need to use in order to navigate from one fragment to another, in this case login fragment to dashboard fragment. And now in the similar way, when I complete the registration, I need to log in the system. So what I will do, I will click on this it start, and will uh, drag it and release it on the login fragment. So this arrow, you are able to see this has been created, this link has been created, and this id of this respective link is also shown up here. So this is the thing we only need to do in this file, and such things sometimes we need to deal with some more options, like what here pop behavior and all these things. So I'll explain those things one by one. For now, this is how we can navigate. So let me go to the activity main.xml. Now let me add that navhost fragment as I have just talked earlier. So I'll go to the containers, and here I'll see navhost fragment. So I'll just drag and drop it here, and now it will ask me for the which navigator file navigation graph you need to add in this. So this is title asking for navigation graphs. So here I have created a navigator navigation graph. So I'll just click on OK, and that will be assigned to this. And as you can see, login fragment is displaying by default here. Why? Because it is set as a start destination in our navigation graph. Here we'll constrain it to the match parent width and height both match parent. So we can also remove this top constant layout because we don't need. We can just uh, make this as a parent layout, but that's fine, that's your choice. So this is the only thing we need to do in our activity main.xml file. So I'll just close this file. Main activity.kt also I'll close. Okay, now I am in the login fragment. If I run this application now, by default login fragment will be displayed. But what we need to do, once we click on this login button, we should be navigated to the next screen, that is dashboard fragment. So how we can achieve that? In this login fragment, we have this view, and with the help of this view, we'll use the find view by id, view dot find view by id, and that is a button r.id dot, what is the id of this button? Login. This is the btn underscore login, button login. I'll set an on-click listener on this, and in this I'll implement the code to go to dashboard fragment from this login fragment. There is just a one line code, there is nothing major in this. Find nav controller dot navigate, and you just need to put an id of that link that we have just seen. So in the same way, r.id dot, now I'll go in the again the navigation graph. So I'll click on this link, because this link we need to take for the to navigate from login fragment to dashboard. So I'll click on this link and we'll pick up the id of this. I'm copying this id, and now I am pasting it here. Dot navigate, and that's it. Only this thing will do our work. It will navigate us from login fragment to dashboard fragment. So let me try running it in our application so that you will get an idea how it works. So here my application is running, and I'll just click on this login button, and yes, we are navigated to the dashboard fragment. To the another fragment we are navigated with the help of simple this one line code. So this is the power of navigation. You don't need to call the fragment manager and then do replace or something. You don't need to do anything on that with the help of this navigation graph. So if I click on back here, I navigate back to the login fragment. So let me implement the same for this sign up also. So I'll again duplicate this thing, and here I'll go fragment login. I'll select this text view sign up and pick its id and put it here, and it is a text view. Okay, I'll again keep it the same, set on click listener. Now I need to change this id because I need to now use some another link. So here what I need to do, I need once I click on this sign up button in the login fragment, I need to navigate to this registration fragment. So what I need to do, I just need to uh, click on the start of this login fragment and end this on this registration fragment. I'll uh, drop it here. So here is once again link is created. One link is going to the dashboard fragment, one link is coming from going to the login fragment to the registration fragment. So we need to pick up this link. So I'll just click on this id, copy this id, and we'll paste it here. Is id is actually automatically generated, and it is very readable. You can see that action login fragment to registration fragment, so we can actually read it out. You can change this id, but recommended to not to change this, and it is very clearly readable when Android Studio automatically generates it. So from this login fragment, I'll go to the registration fragment after clicking on this text sign up. So that is the thing that is for the login fragment. Now we'll switch to the registration fragment. So in this registration fragment, we also have two buttons. Once we click on register, we will be navigating to the login fragment, and once so what generally in the systems do, when user clicks fill the details and click on register, it says that you have registered successfully, and it navigates to the login screen, and then where user can log in. Instead, what they have one again option, already have an account, you can log in from here. So in both of these our cases, we just want to navigate user to the login screen. So we can either implement one or both of these. So let's implement first. At least I'll go to the registration fragment here. I'll again do the same thing, view dot find view by id, that is a button, r dot id dot what is the id of this button, btn register. I click on this and again set an on click listener on this, and again do the same thing, find nav controller dot navigate, r dot id dot, I'll again pick this link. So I'll click on this link, and we'll pick up the copy this link id, and we'll paste it here. It is saying that registration fragment to login fragment, so we'll be navigated for that respective to that link. So you can again try launching the application. Again, we need to do one thing in the dashboard fragment itself. When we click on logout, we want the user to be navigated back to the login fragment. Okay, for this I'll again go to dashboard fragment, again do the same thing, find sorry view dot find view by id, that is a button, r dot id dot, what is the id of this button, logout. So I'll copy this and we'll paste this, and again set an on click listener on this. Again I'll write the same function, find nav controller dot navigate, r dot id dot, I again need to copy the link id, so I am going here. So from that fragment we need to return to the login fragment. So I'll again create a one link from dashboard fragment to the login fragment. Okay, this link has been created, so we'll just click on this link and I'll copy the id. Now I'll go again dashboard fragment and paste the link here. It is showing that dashboard fragment to login fragment. So now our navigations are complete. So once we'll again try running our application and see how our navigations are now working. Yeah, our application has been launched and I am here in the login fragment. So I'll just click on a sign up. So I have been navigated to the registration fragment. So here I am let's say I have filled all the fields here, and I click on register. So I'll after clicking on register, I'll be again prompted to log in to the system. So I am here in the login. So if I click on the login, I'll be navigated to the dashboard fragment. And after in the dashboard fragment, once I done my work, I click on logout, I'll be navigated back to the login fragment. So the flow is working pretty nice. But if I click on back here, where it is going, dashboard fragment, this should not happen. If I click back again, then this is again going to login fragment. So basically it is repeating the same set of things uh, that we have created with the help of going to from one fragment to another. So as we already know, there is a one stack which we know, and in the stack one fragment is put on the another. Let's say first we have in the login fragment. So first, like, login fragment is there. If we went to the registration fragment, the registration fragment stack is stacked on top of that. Then again, if we click on login fragment, another instance of login fragment is stacked on that on the top of the registration, and this goes on in this builds up a stack. Even though the things are repeated, it builds up a stack of the instances where we have navigated. And once we click on this back, one pop function is automatically applied by the Android system, and one stack is one element is popped out from that stack. and we land on the previous fragment. So these things continues, but this is not the correct behavior according to our system. So we'll see now how we can avoid this. So once we click on the login button, and in the almost all of the applications, once we log in, then we no need to log in again and again. So once we click on login, once we navigated from login button to our dashboard fragment, we should not be able to see the login screen again if we put the back button, if we press a back button. So that thing we can back button, or we can also see a logout. If so, this is the thing we need to take care of now. So let's see how we can do that. Here we'll be going to handle one case. When we click on login button, we'll be navigated to the dashboard fragment, and once we click back on the dashboard fragment, we will not be again landed to the login fragment. Instead, we'll be exited from the application. Now, how you can handle such type of cases? There is nothing major we need to do. It is again a one simple thing. We just need to click on this link, and we need to deal with these options now. Pop behavior, we need to select this pop up to, and we'll select the login fragment here. As soon as we select it, here you can see that this arrow has been come. This symbol, arrow symbol, is present here. And again, second option, we have some boolean check. Pop up to inclusive means pop out screens including this login fragment. So we will just click on this and make it as a true. So now let's try running our application and see how it behaves differently in this case. So our application is running, and if we click on this login, we are now landed to the dashboard fragment, and now I am clicking back button of the device. So it is no longer navigated to the login fragment. Instead, it directly exited the application, because once we landed in the dashboard fragment, it has cleared the stack, and it has cleared this login fragment also from its stack. So there is only one element residing in this, that is a dashboard fragment, and this is the expected behavior when we are dealing with the login systems. In the same way, we can implement that in the registration fragment as well. Let's say we need to, after registering, we need to uh, let's say we are just switching in between two things, that is login fragment to registration fragment and vice versa, because we have two links here in the application itself. Let me show you that. And here in the login fragment itself, uh, here is one thing, is the sign up text. So if we click, which we all don't have an account, such a case where we click on the sign up and registration fragment opens, and if we click on the login, the okay, we haven't assigned it in the login here, so I'll just click on register. So after you click on this register, we are going to login. So in this case, we are just switching between two fragments, and if we click on this back, it is just again creating a mess because of the stack things. So we don't want to happen this. Once we are navigated from login fragment to the registration fragment and registration fragment to login fragment number of times, still even if we are either of these two screens, once we click on back, we expect our application to end. So that type of behavior we are now going to implement. Let's see how we can do that. We are using the same technique here as well. So if we click on the link registration to login, in this link here you can see action registration fragment to login fragment. In this link, I'll again do the same, pop up to login fragment, and I click on pop up to inclusive true. So and for this thing, I'll again click on this link from login fragment to registration fragment. You can see in the edit here, action login fragment to registration fragment, and I'll again select the same thing, a login fragment, and pop up to inclusive as a true. Now let's try running our application, how it, and see how it behaves if we checked these options. Here a login fragment is here. I click on sign up. Now I click on registration fragment here, and now I click on the back. So on clicking on the web, the application has been exited. Now I'll again run the application. In login fragment has been opened, and I again click on the uh, sign up. Registration fragment has been opened, and from the registration fragment itself, I'll again click on the register button, so that will be navigated to the login fragment. And if I click back on here, again registration fragment has been opened. Okay, I might have done some wrong thing here. Okay, I should have selected registration fragment here in case of instead of login fragment, because I wanted to pop off everything including this registration fragment itself when I go to navigation from this link. And in this case I have put a login fragment here, that's why it was not expecting the way we behaved. So basically, in the if we want this type of behavior to pop up all the stacks, all the pop up all the stack, and just keep the one stack in which we are currently residing. So one just approach, keep in mind just a simple approach, that when we click on the link, and the starting link of the starting point of the link, we should select here pop up to, and we should also check this as a true pop up to inclusive. Now I'll run application again and check if it is happening as we expect. Now from login fragment I'll go to the sign up fragment. Again I'll click on register to land onto the login fragment, and I'll do these things, do this navigation several times again and again. So here I am in the login fragment, and I'll click on the back button. Application has been exited. So this type of behavior we were expecting to implement, and we have successfully implemented it with the help of just these options below. So there is a very minimum effort in implementing any type of navigation approach with the help of this navigation graph, and it is quite easy to implement. And you can just create as many fragments as possible here. There is also zoom out option also here, and if we click on this icon, it will make it fit to your screen. And though you had 10 to 15 fragments, you can efficiently manage those from this navigation graph. So this is how we can navigate, how we can pop up things from this. And there is one function I just need to tell you. If I want to come back from one fragment, instead of this navigate, one function that we have is a pop-up back stack. So in if we just want to go to previous stack, we can just call this function, and it will be the stack will be popped up. So now we'll see how we can transfer data from one fragment to another with the help of this navigation framework. So as we are already aware about bundles, so bundles help us in this scenario. So let's say in the login screen we have some name. We'll create a bundle variable here, val equal to bundle, and we'll call bundle dot put string in this, and this bundle is a key value pair. So we just need to enter some key. So I'll just write custom key, and here let's say we want to greet the user, which user had logged in. So and that data we need to pass from our login fragment to our dashboard fragment with the help of this navigation. So I have I'm using bundle for that. Now I have called bundle.putString. Here this is the key that I'll use the same key to retrieve the data from the in the dashboard fragment, and I'll just pass my name Ashish. And how we can send this data? So we just need to separate this by comma and pass this bundle as a second argument, and that's it. Now I'll go to the dashboard fragment, and here we have one text view dashboard fragment. So in the so let us create one again, say text view for our name to be displayed. So I'll just constraint it. I'll set it as a match parent, no worries. Width to match parent. Okay, and make the size as okay. I think I am not doing for that. Here is it. Width takes me as a match parent, and will increase the size to 30 sp. This is a name attribute, so I'll get a name. Here I am using a tools attribute, not an Android attribute. So this tools attribute will only be applicable at the design time, whereas the Android text attribute, if we use, it will be shown at the runtime. So even if I have put a name here and we are seeing it here, we will be not seeing this name because it is a tools. So it is visible only at the design time. Now I'll give some ID specific user name. Okay. Now let me go to dashboard fragment. Here I need to collect the bundle sent by the navigation framework. Data I need to collect. So here is one args. I'll declare one variable. So I can just write argu arguments. So I'll just arguments dot get string. I'll actually replace this with user name. Get string. I'll use the same key as we have set in the login fragment custom key. I'll copy this and I'll paste it here so that we'll get the same data associated with this key. And I'll set this username to our text view which we have just created. You dot find view by id, that is a text view, r dot id dot uh, username, right, dot text. I'll set it as username. Here it is showing an error because arguments may be null, so I am putting a question mark here for the null safety. Here it is showing an error with as a does not exist, but this error shows up sometimes and it goes away because this is just the latency in detecting what we have added a new fragment, new id in our fragment respective fragment. So this is not an error. If you came across such a thing, then just verify once if we actually have that key, and if we have, then you can ignore that. So I'll just again run our application and see what happens. Here we are at the login fragment. I'll just click on the login. Then we are seeing Ashish here. This data we are sending from this. Let me again clarify this. This data we are sending from this login fragment. We have used the bundle. We have used the put string method. We have used the custom key. It is actually a key which we have named as a custom key, and this is a data. This is a key and this is a value. That is key value pair in the bundle. And this is the data which we have, and we are sending this bundle as an argument from this navigation framework, from this navigate function. And when we reach at this dashboard fragment, we get one property as a arguments, that is a get arguments. This is a so we can just you can just call a get string method on this and use the same key as we have used at the time of sending, and the data will be collected in this variable, and this variable is setting up this data. Ashish, if we replace the data with something else, that data will be shown. So this is how we can send the data from one fragment to another. You can say any type of data, any type like integer, character, float, string. You can send any data, and you can also send a JSON response also, but that should be limited. JSON response with by converting it to the string, but that should be limited, and that is generally not recommended. So you can send the data. This is how you can send the data from one fragment to another. So this is how you can implement Jetpack Navigation Component in your own application. I hope the things are clear to you. I have tried my best way to explain with the help of practical example. If there is some doubt you have, then you can just put your comment in the comment box below. I'll try my best to answer those. If you like this video, then please click on like, share with your friends, and subscribe to this channel to get stay updated with such new and latest videos and increase your knowledge and become a better version of Android developer. We'll meet in the next tutorial with some another interesting topic about Android. Till then, goodbye. Happy coding.